The sun can only be local in our atmosphere. And I'm going to explain why it's so important for you to understand this, that the sun, along with the earth, is in a symbiotic relationship with us, in communication with humanity on a cellular metabolic level. Okay, now this is why Rockefeller has demonized sunlight, saying that the sun is bad for you, as they have put in the textbooks that you read when you were in middle school, saying that the sun is a giant burning ball of gas that's 93 million miles away. You see, they want to get the importance of that solar orb as far away from you as possible. And it's the same core reason why they demonize anything like the sun, especially because it keeps bringing them back customers, believing that they need to buy into their Rockefeller medicines, Rockefeller solutions, and procedures. It's all lies to keep you away from nature, okay? Now, when the sun rises in the morning, as soon as it's coming up, there is no UV light. So the sun has 3 differentiated primary emanations of color. It has blue, red, and green. Okay, now here's the interesting thing about sunlight. The amount of blue light is always balanced by the same exact amount of red light. Okay, so what exactly does blue light fundamentally do when the sun rises and it enters into your retina? It stimulates your eyes and it increases something called reactive oxygen species. That's an anatomical process that your mitochondria makes in your RP. RP is a cell layer called retinal pigment epithelial cells to get this process going. This process creates natural inflammation in the eyes, and that inflammation changes the water flow in your eye through a gate called the aquaporin 4 gate pathway, abbreviated as AQP4 gateway or pathway. Now, this water flow in the eyes stretches between neurons and glial cells, and that's actually what wakes you up in the morning. Okay, now blue light activation actually turns your pituitary glands on in the morning so that you begin to release the anterior pituitary hormones, and that's what actually sets the circadian pacemaker rhythm for you in the morning time. Okay, so the key thing is that unopposed blue light has no balance. That means no red light at all. So if you're familiar with the Roman god Janus, Janus has a good face and a bad face, just like everything in our world of duality. We have masculine and feminine dichotomy structures that makes up the place that we live. So sunlight has the perfect balance of good and bad. All right, so around 8:30, 9 o'clock a.m., the UV light comes up. But however, the way that UV light manifests in the morning is that UV light cannot fully penetrate through the atmosphere because of its certain angle of incidence in the sky. So only at a certain time when the sun is approaching you in your perspective that this will activate this process. The sun has to have a certain angle in the atmosphere so that the ozone layer doesn't knock it back. And what does UV light do on the surface of our skin? It activates certain hormones that comes to the surface of our skin. Because what does full spectrum sunlight do for us? It actually releases another free radical on our skin called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator and it brings blood vessels to the surface of our epidermis. And therefore, the hormones from the anterior pituitary are electrostatically bound to red blood cells. What's on a red blood cell? You have something called DHA. DHA is also known as fish oil in the cell membrane, which is why taking krill oils and fish oils is so important for the body, especially the skin. You see, the oils have a ton of electrons in it, so the light interacts with our atoms by photoelectric effect. Photons hitting electrons, photoelectric. That's the key. We are made of light. The ultraviolet light turns off the amount of anterior pituitary hormones only at a certain precise time. So, if you look at the circadian biology of hormone release, you'll notice that testosterone peaks at 10 o'clock a.m. and then it declines after that. And that's because at approximately 10 a.m. to around noon, almost everywhere from 0 degrees latitude to 60 degrees latitude, ultraviolet light is present, depending on your location and the time of year on the flat map, which is why at certain times of the year, specifically like the winter time, we don't receive this ultraviolet light energy, because the sun is a mobile canopy umbrella of sunlight that is moving around the flat realm. And this is the key. And this is why you always hear Yaqui Awakening always say that we should match our eating cycle with the cycle of the sun. We should match our patterns with the pattern movements of the sun. Ultraviolet sunlight specifically is the key to getting that nitric oxide up to the surface of our skin on the epidermis to allow this natural metabolic process to take place. Because your skin is translucent to light. Inside of a red blood cell, the two most common proteins are 1, hemoglobin, which has 4 main spikes, 1 in the UV range and 3 in the red range. And then there's another protein called porphyrins. And porphyrins absorb all parts of the UV spectrum. So guess what? Porphyrins are what allows ultraviolet light to be assimilated in our body. We are made of light. God is light. 1 John chapter 1, verse 5.